But it's
It's kind of nice to do this.
It is
and
nice.
get paid while doing
Yeah.
it. Because if I wasn't getting paid, I'd be like, no.
yeah. I mean, you get paid.
I get paid.
You know what I mean? The rest of us don't really.
But I'm working here. This is hard work.
We're all working.
All right, getting out of bed.
Oh my god.
Put on a bra. Putting my hair up.
You're gonna make the people jealous.
Drinking my drink.
Yeah.
And then working on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they deserve to be jealous because I worked my ass off to get here, damn it. I worked so hard to get a job that pays me to be awesome.
That's true.
That's true.
And that's why we're doing this.
I
We I guess we have not explained ourselves at all. So it's like, well, what the fuck
know.
is
Should I drink?
what are these two people doing here?
Okay, so I'm Dina, this is Ajani, and we're doing Civileye. The end. There, we've explained.
No.
Okay,
This
full
gotta be it.
transparency. Okay.
This-
So, we are Civileye, and the idea behind Civileye was to bring up social issues and topics, but also just to really talk about different things that are going on either now or yesterday or even a few years back and how it correlates to now. There will be tangents, FYI. But there are a lot of things that people really don't want to talk about or they have issues talking about that are relevant to what's going on today or what could actually probably be problematic in the future. But it's true. It's very true. And we decided to make a podcast and videos to talk about these issues because we really want for us to put that out there, and that way if people have an opinion or they want to talk about the same topic, they're more than welcomed, and we're more than happy to hear their rants. Doesn't mean we're actually going to oblige, but we will go through all their rants and their opinions on the topics that we're actually talking about, and they are going to be all over the place. One minute it could be fashion, one minute it could be about the culture in San Antonio. Hell, it could just be traffic in San Antonio and the never-ending construction. That is the lovely San Antonio. But full transparency, we will not be editing ourselves. Question mark?
Well, no, we're definitely look. Okay, so we turn on the camera,
Right.
and we keep it running for like an
Hours.
hour and a half because so offline we run a business. She runs most of the business. Actually,
He just
no,
sits there and looks pretty.
No, that's not true. We actually run a business, and
I do 90% though.
not anymore.
Oh, 80-20.
Not
80-20.
No, it's like
Fine, 70-30.
oh,
It's not no 50-50.
it's not, but it's like 60-40.
Okay, 60-40.
Oh yeah.
Now,
I
it's
just did-
60-40.
I just
2
did-
weeks ago, it was 90-10.
I was working on a project.
On your
But-
book.
Yes, I
Yes,
was.
on your
Yes, I
book.
was.
Which
But-
is now available, and it's called...
Laurentio.
That's right, I'm dropping that shit in there.
Oh, okay, very cool. Very cool. Go get it. It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon for
I don't know how much,
something dollars.
but it's worth it. However,
But
much
it's
you
worth
pay.
it. It's really cool. It's on astrology.
Astrology, yes.
And I'm not saying that with a question mark because I don't know what it is, but I don't want to call it the wrong thing.
Because Facebook calls it astrologist, which is not a word.
But it's not a word.
It's
Astrologist
not a
is
word.
not a word. It is
Yes.
astrologer.
Yes.
Jur. See, I'm even fucking up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, we've been running this business.
Skip Dina. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so we've been running this business for a while, and actually we only went public in January, and in 4 months we've started seeing some interesting patterns. The main pattern is that whenever we have these meetings, it's an individual business, it's startup, all that other stuff, but whenever we have these meetings, we jump from topic to topic.
That's
and
true.
it's actually really, really interesting.
And then
some of the
6
stuff that we
hours
talk about.
in, we're
Yeah,
still
I mean,
talking.
We will sit here in the study. This place here. We will sit here in the study and just talk about stuff. And it's like, man, lots of people need to hear this because our main purpose is it's empowering people, but empowering as many people as possible. And the reason is because we both come from an arts background, and you have to kind of balance all you artists out there. You got the work job and the normal life, and then you've got your creative side on the other. And it can be a bit of a pain, especially if you're really, really intense about getting your creativity out there. And so when we're not doing this, we're actually running a creativity-related business. But what we find is that there's a lot of stuff out there which basically stifles individual creativity. It's not just a job. It could be just culture. You know, especially here in San Antonio, we've got little quirky cultures and things like that going on. And so we felt like it was useful to just hit record on some of the things we're talking about, because it's kind of hard to explain, but as we run our business, we find that our energy is contagious. You can't really tell yet from this recording.
Impromptu recording.
Yeah, like we haven't scripted any of this shit.
No.
I shouldn't have said shit.
No,
anyway.
But so, okay, everything's unscripted. There. Is that better?
Whatever. Everything is unscripted, and
if you couldn't tell, we're just bullshitting now.
Yeah, we're just bullshitting.
We're just bullshitting.
Yeah, but
we're not bullshitting.
Yeah, we like each other's company, and we felt this is the honest truth.
Oh, yes.
I didn't see what that was.
Nothing.
But
Keep
I will
going.
when we edit.
No, we really do enjoy each other's company. If you haven't been able to tell, we actually do get along really well. And you wouldn't think that for those people out there who actually have known about him, known about me, and separately.
Which is not that
it doesn't
many
make
people.
sense. And it's not that many people, but they will see this.
But in a year, it will be everywhere.
It will be everywhere because internet works that way.
Yeah.
But I've known him for, it's 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
After February, it was 8 years, and I'm still waiting for a ring. No, but I'm just kidding. I've known him for about 8 years now, and in that time, we really haven't grown closely until we started working together the last 4 months. Holy shit, it's been 4 months.
I know.
December till now has been 4 months.
Yes.
That's insane. And he hasn't fired me. So that's a really good. And I haven't fired him. That's a really good.
We're doing well.
We're doing high standards.
Yeah.
Haven't been fired. We're doing okay. But no, and in all seriousness, all joking aside, we really have been working together closely for the last few months, and I've learned so much about him, and he's learned so much about me, and we realize we're besties. So we're really, really good friends now, and I mean, we can really talk about anything without getting offended, which is actually really nice because he doesn't miss me, and even though it hurts my feelings that he doesn't hurt me, that he doesn't miss me, I know deep inside he does miss me. But he says no, but it's true. He dreams about me.
I try not to.
No, but I love our relationship and I love our friendship, and not trying to get all mush here because I'll make people throw up with the mushiness. But a lot of people who actually do see this, they're not gonna expect us to work together. And seeing you laugh and enjoying yourself.
Yeah. Right now, I'm a little bit, because I was setting up cameras and things, and I was on the road, so you'll forgive my kind of.
You gotta forgive my appearance because I literally rolled out of bed, put on a bra, and I said, "This is as good as it's gonna get."
So this is what happens when you work for yourself, and it's actually awesome. Like,
so that you don't care. You don't care.
We're trying to encourage people that this is an option for them.
This is an option to make money being yourself and dressing literally however you want. I mean, this guy owns a company and he has a bandana and a Bob Ross shirt. That is like the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing you're ever gonna see. And if anyone who knows me that's like my friend, or I only have like 5, literally. I only have 5. Not because I'm not cool, but because I really do have high standards for friendship. And so that means there's no room for you. Sorry. Ahead of time. He slipped into the cracks. He can't help it. He really is cool. But anybody who knows me, it's like, this is really the hardest Dina's going to try as far as looks. Just because if I don't have to, it's not going to happen. And honestly, that looks fine to me. Yeah, and we're getting paid to do this, so I know you can do it too. And I want to drop in some names in there and be like, hey, you like his
Mhm.
You want to do this for yourself, you know who to call. Because we can make it happen.
But we're gonna exclude that because this video is actually for everybody else.
It's for everybody.
And I really did feel like, man, the stuff that we're talking about is important for folks. So like our main theme is being true to yourself, right? Know your worth.
Know your worth.
Know your worth. And this is like a big deal.
Oh my God.
So the idea for Civileye, you know, right now we're just recording, but eventually we hope to record more of these and make it a formal kind of podcast called Civileye. That's for, you know, civil as in society, and I as in just, you know, paying attention to things. Because in case you haven't noticed, things have changed over the past decade, 2 decades, just in terms of technology and how everything runs. It's really, really easy to, instead of being true to yourself, being true to whatever is put in front of us. And we felt like, man, we're in this business to try to help people be true to themselves, and there's a whole lot of stuff getting in the way.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, it took me way longer than it should have, to be honest with you, to know my worth. He already knew how much he was worth as soon as he came out of the JJ. Let's just put that out there. He already knew how much he was worth, and but that doesn't mean that there was no struggle. There were still some struggles in finding his way and knowing what works for him and what doesn't work for him. But that's everybody. I mean, I don't care who you are. You're going to have to go through all the tidal waves of trying to figure out who you are and what you want to do. Do you want to go to college? What kind of job do you want to get? And of course, you have your family on the other ear saying, well, you know, I know you're going for this, but you should really do this because this pays more money. And you're so freaking miserable.
So now, we've been getting along really well and actually found our niche.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you, which might be interesting for people out there. If you had to give one major piece of advice for people discovering what their worth is, what would you tell them?
Oh, goodness. Take some time for yourself. I went from one relationship to another thinking that was the answer. And it wasn't until I actually took some time away from relationships, even friendship. I literally took 6 months away from everybody. Except for, you know, my kids, of course. But after realizing that I can't please everybody, first of all. And I'm a huge people pleaser. And I realized I couldn't please everyone. And that because I was such in a hurry or so busy trying to please other people, that I wasn't doing anything for myself, and I was actually not really doing much for my kids either. And when I realized that, you know, it wasn't because I was relationship. I discovered that because I took some time away from everything and everyone to really know, hey, I'm worth a lot more than what I've been getting this whole time. I realized I can do this by myself. I don't need someone else. It's nice to have someone else, but I don't actually need it. And I think a lot of people don't really know their worth because they're not giving themselves that time to really focus on themselves. And I'm not saying be selfish, but be a little selfish. You know, if you have kids, you can't be 100% selfish, but you realize that you're going to spend more time with them. You're going to get to know them a little bit better. You're going to get to know, and by getting to know them, you're going to get to know yourself better. What your limitations are, what you are or were not willing to do, what you're willing to accept. And because I did that, I realized I had to get rid of certain people in my life because I gave myself that time to really focus and know, okay, these people are actually really slowing me down. They're not really doing anything to my growth. If anything, they're actually a hindrance.
Mm-hmm. If I had to give a piece of advice for people knowing their worth, well, mine's a little bit different because
mine's a little long-winded.
No. Mine's a little different because she's right. I came from a family that's very supportive and everything, and so we knew our worth from the very beginning. Like our parents made sure we knew.
Straight out of the canal, guys. Like, seriously, pop out, kings.
Said,
exactly, like, the whole power and everything.
So,
they already knew that.
Yeah. So our problem is if you know your worth and you focus on it too much, then there's some trouble relying on other people. And so it is important to take time for yourself, but I think you find that when you know what you're worth, you tend to automatically set that time aside. the difficulty, especially when you're trying to do something bigger than yourself, is learning when to cooperate with other people. So weirdly,
But that's still the same issue either way.
yeah. So weirdly, when we do things like this, it happens because I know my weaknesses. And I would say for people who already know what they're worth, if you don't know your weaknesses and you say, try to run a business and wear all the hats at the same time, or, like trying to write a book and do all the editing and everything at once, I mean, that stuff can actually hold you back. And if you are able to say, this is what I'm good at, but it really would be nice to have this other person complement my skills, then you don't just know your worth, but you know the worth of the people around you. And so together you can actually build something really cool.
Absolutely. It's basically you're creating your own little community with the backup that you have. And don't just have friends because, well, they're good at a party. That's great. That's all you want to do. But in reality, as you get older, are you really going to need someone who's always ready to party? No. You're going to need someone who's actually going to be able to be there to back you up, or who's like-minded as yourself. And for me, I am very all about what the person can bring. So it really is like a resume, what they can bring, but also what you can offer them as well. I'm a big nurturer, and I'm really big on caretaking. And the people that I have that I really consider my friends, it's kind of like they know that I'll back them up, and they know that I'll have their backup too.